Shalom. I'll give all honor and praises to Yahawah BAHASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching this truth and sincerity. Salutation to the hopeful that the spirit of the four corners of the earth. Alright, so the title of this lesson will be, I really don't know. Probably it's going to be a response to Beware of False Prophets and Sheep's Clothing by Company of the Prophets. Okay, so I'm thinking about, never mind. So I got one precept that I'm going to get into Matthew's 7th chapter. But I'm just just let the Spirit do what the Spirit got to do. Because I have one precept written down, but, if the Spirit feed me more, we're just going to go in the Spirit, right? The lesson might be long, it might be short. So they're going to be, again, a response to the Company of the Prophets. Brother, I believe that's a ball. I think it's a ball. A bar, maybe.
Camps that are changing the doctrine, switching up the doctrine, changing the name, taking out the name, adding and taking away to the word, which is all.
But yeah, so I'm gonna play it back. It's gonna be a response to this video, right? Beware of false prophets, because right, because there's a lot of false prophets among the nation of Israel, right? Especially in the church, right? That's leading the sheep astray, coming with these damnable heresies, right? Saying that the New Testament is because a lot of people is believers that saying the New Testament is here. We're in the New Testament. It's like not a New Testament, in New Covenant, right? Saying we're in a New Covenant, whichever testament just means like a agreement. So New Covenant, right? Saying that we're in a New Covenant, okay. And you have a lot of people, out here, teaching that, okay, especially those in the truth, and y'all Lord YAHAWAHSHI calls them what? False prophets in sheep's clothing. So I'm just gonna play this video.
What it looks like.
I'm gonna might depend on how the Spirit hit me. I'm gonna stop it and bring out some precepts, or I'm just gonna keep going.
It's like these groups have sold out, man. Right? And the scriptures talk about men crept in unawares. Okay, pretty much doing their own thing, trying to make merchandise of you. Okay.
He got 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil man and seducer shall wax worse and worse, deceiving being deceived, right? That's what happened in this modern day time, okay? Evil man and seducer are waxing worse and worse. They're deceiving others, and they're being deceived themselves, okay? By their own philosophies, written by the spiritual demon Satan, okay? And by ultimately who controls the spiritual demon Satan, YAHAWAHSHI, right? So they'll go deeper than them. Their teaching. What they're doing. They go way beyond them. What they're teaching.
You got a lot of Israelite camps that are changing the doctrine, switching up the doctrine, changing the name, taking out the name, adding and taking away to the word, which is all part of Bible prophecy. So, nonetheless, let me go ahead and play this video.
To those stories that is for us in this time today. History repeats itself. So now we have the sin of Achan, and 2/3 of Israelites in the land of America in Babylon, because that's where the 1/3 and 2/3 will play out. The 1/3 one third, and 2/3. We used to call them 2/3. 2/3, right? Because the Lord's going to do away with them like fecal matter. Anyway, the 1/3 and the 2/3 concept is strictly dealing with Babylon, Mystery Babylon, America. You understand? Or the Americas. All right? So that's where it will play out at. So 2/3 of the Israelites here in the Americas are committing the sin of Achan, have the sin of Achan, as you see in the title. So Romans 15.
The land. Now, notice it just says, in all the land. Well, what land is the question now? We know what we've been told the land is. We know what we've been taught the land is. But what does the actual book say the land is in question? Right? What's the context? Well, in order to get context, you typically have to go to the beginning of the chapter, right? Take a look at the context, right? So Zechariah 13:1 and 2, it tells us, read. So I was going to read it. Go ahead and read it, son.
In that day shall there be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
So let's stop there, right? So I'm hearing about land later in the chapter. In the beginning of the chapter, I hear about a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Inhabitants are those who habitate the area, the people who live in the area of Jerusalem. Wait a minute, hold on. It's a Jerusalem here, right? And it talks about this fountain. What's that fountain for, Asad?
For sin and for uncleanness.
Boom. So it's talking about cleaning up the people who live in Jerusalem and the house of David. A cleansing. Okay, interesting. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day.
In that day. That's, in that day it shall come to pass. It says in 8 and 9. This is the same day, the same time, right? In that day. Go ahead.
In that day, says the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land.
So the names of the idols are going to be cut off out of the land. So we see the house of David. We see the inhabitants of Jerusalem. We see a fountain to clean. And we see idols, the names of the idols being cut off from the land. Right? Now, we know that America isn't going to stop being idolatrous. We know that America isn't going to have a fountain in it. It's going to be turned into fire, pitch, brimstone, right? But we know that there is idolatry that it presently takes place in our land, right? Under Amalek and the heathens is being trodden down by the Gentiles, as the prophecy says. So with understanding those things, this is all very consistent that the place, the land that's being referred to is Israel.
It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the lands, and they shall no more be remembered. All right, so, and I'm going to finish this video out, but that was, Alazar, the leader of Sakari, now switching up the doctrine yet again, saying that the 2/3, the land of the 2/3 is talking about the land of Israel, which is not true. All right, the 2/3 prophecy is talking about here in America. Okay, when America is destroyed,
Right, and 2/3 referring to what? Wicked Israelites, right? Wicked Israelites that's not in the truth, okay? Or you can be an Israelite that's not in the truth, or worldly Israelite, like these celebrities, Jake, or family members that's not in the truth, or you can be considered 2/3 if you're false prophets, right? If you're a wicked Israelite in the truth, or wicked Israelite outside the truth, right? You're considered 2/3. Is that what that 2/3 means, right? It goes into a 2/3 of the nation of Israel, okay? And I believe that's what prophesied in Zechariah 3 and 5, where it speaks about that 2/3, either Zechariah or Zephaniah. see. Okay, because it's not referring to the land, right? So Zechariah 13. Right, yeah, you know that land right now, you know, that land, so-called, that land that's inhabited by the Amalekites, you know, those fake Jews, okay, that land gonna get destroyed, but gonna be rebuilt. But that's not speaking about the 2/3, right? You know, so I'm gonna give this in Zechariah 13 and 8. Zechariah 13 and 8 reads, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, says the Lord, YAHAWAHSHI, 2 parts therein should be cut off and die. Right? In all the land, referring to what? America, not America, right? You know, says the Lord, YAHAWAHSHI, 2 parts therein should be cut off and die. Right? And don't get me wrong, you do have 2/3 Jake, wicked Israelites that's not in that's living the other parts of these part of, you know, the world. Like you have, you know, you have 2/3 Israelites, you know, scattered everywhere, right? Just like you have the Lats, you know, other nation Israel, the 1/3 scattered, you know, throughout the 4 corners of the earth. You also have 2/3 wicked Israelites scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth, right? But this basically the majority, but this is referring to the majority of the 2/3, the majority of wicked Israelites inhabit the land of America. Okay, this is where, you know, you have mainly the Southern Kingdom, okay, in America, and then you have the Northern Kingdom, right? Most of the Northern Kingdom tribes is in America, okay? All of the Northern Kingdom tribes in America mainly, probably, because you have what? You have immigrants coming into America, right? Those so-called immigrants are Israelites, okay? That's migrating from those different migrating from Southern America all the way to America to come to America. Those are mainly those are Southern Kingdom, those are Israelites, okay? You know, so, you know, 2 parts therein, which referring to the Israelites, okay, wicked Israelites are gonna be cut off, okay, and die. Meaning what? They're gonna know death, but they're gonna know it. They're gonna basically suffer that being burnt by those thermonuclear fire, okay. But the 3rd should be left therein, which referring to what? The elect, the 1/3 of the nation Israel, okay, the righteous ones, okay.
2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed with it. All right. So going off. So let me just grab a scripture real quick, and then I'll finish the video out.
Right. So this why, you know, because this is not a hard breakdown, so to speak. You just, you know, they just don't like, you know, they like to come up with, they like to, you know, they like to go against the grain, right? You know, they like to go against the grain. You know, Jake is like to compete. You know, they like to, which is, you know, they're just playing. They just really they're, you know, they're playing. You know, they have that blood is going to be on their hand ultimately. Okay, for leading the sheep astray. Okay. Okay, this is Matthew 7. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15. A tree in its fruit. Okay. Matthew chapter 7, verse 15 reads, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing. Okay. But inwardly they are ravening wolves. Okay, so we have to we had to fully, eat this up. Okay, we had to fully digest this. All right, it's one precept. Okay, we had to fully eat it up. Okay, I'm gonna read that again. Matthew 7:15 says, "Beware of false prophets." Okay, a prophet means what? To say before, right? When you prophesy, you are saying before. Okay, so Alazar will be considered a prophet because he's saying that the 2/3 is referring to the land of Israel that's going to be cut off, right? So he's prophesying that that land now inhabited by the fake Jews nation, which is called Israel, right, is referring to the 2/3. All right, so that prophecy, okay, doesn't come to pass, then he's considered a false prophet, right? Because ultimately it's referring to the 2/3 referring to what? The nation of Israel. Okay, it's a people they're gonna be cut off, right? It's a people that are gonna be cut off. Because that's why you have 1/3. Then what? Then if it's referring to, okay, if that whole that land, okay, that land inhabited by the fake Jews. If that land gonna be then if that land considered 2/3, then why the Lord said that 1/3 should be saved therein, right? 1/3, so that means that 1/3 of that land gonna be saved, right? Then that land is gonna be that land inhabited by the fake Jews is gonna be totally destroyed and rebuilt. Okay, so this 2/3 referring to a people, okay, which is in people of the nation of Israel. Wicked Israelites, right? Because that's why you have a 2/3 wicked. You have 2/3 and you have 1/3, right? Which are considered what, the 144K, right? And the great multitude that are gonna be delivered, okay. Which come to you in sheep's clothing, right? A sheep is what? Considered a harmless, okay, innocent, okay, creature or innocent animal, innocent animal, right? And they come to you in sheep's clothing, right? Now, when you wear clothing up, right? Clothing from within that which is within the inside your soul, okay, inwardly, okay. But let's go into a deeper, okay. Let's go into that word clothing. Let's go into some deeper meaning of that word, right? We can bring out edification. Okay? Let's build, okay, on top of that word clothing. Now, I looked this up, okay, the other day, right, before doing this. I looked this word up, closing up, but the other day, but it looked like you didn't. When I came back and tried to look it up again, what I wanted is not in here. But when you ever closing up, it's supposed to go back to the word cloak, right? The word cloak, right? Let me see. Closing. Maybe if I do this. So closing, action, addressing, close. That's not what I want. So again, it's supposed to go back to the word cloak. Go back to the word cloak. Now, when you look the word cloak up, cloak. Yeah. So basically the same thing because that word closing goes back to the word. She go back to the word Let's see. Cloak, root. Oh, that's not one. Clothing. Right, so the word cloak, okay. So the word clothing, it should go back to the word cloak, okay, which means a loose outer garment as a cape or coat, okay. Something that covers or conceals, okay. Disguise, okay. So a cloak, so the Lord refers to the false prophets as sheep's clothing. They come to you as sheep's clothing, right? Now, sheep's clothing. You're going where I'm going, right? All you brothers know where I'm going. So when we're going to that deep, the word disguise, right? Disguise means give someone or oneself a different appearance in order to conceal one's identity. Okay, false appearance, right? So these false prophets, they come in sheep's clothing. They come in they conceal their identity, their doctrine, like it's harmless, right? They come in a manner of being harmless, of being innocent, right? So they come with his teaching, with his doctrines, with a harmless, innocent, deceiving, appearance. Okay. So false appearance, right? False appearance. Okay. So they alter, their appearance. Okay. As sheep's, so they put off, they alter their appearance, to pretend like they're a sheep, right? To pretend like they, they care about the flock, to pretend like they're, care about the flock, but really they don't care about the flock, right? They just feed in their own bellies, right? So they put on this cloak, okay? They put on this cloak, right? When we look at the go back to the red cloak, right? A loose outer garment as a cape or coat, something that covers and conceals, right? A disguise, right? Now he conducts his affairs under a cloak of secrecy, okay? Right? So they come to you in this cloak, all right, conceal, right? They're in the sheep's cloak, right? Pretending like they're for the flock, okay? Like they're, good shepherds, okay, of the flock. But the Bible, as you continue to read, says what? But inwardly they are ravening wolves. Okay? So they put on this false appearance like they're for these sheep. Okay, like they're, they're like, they're trying to care about the sheep, they're trying to, like they're watching out for the sheep, right? But inwardly, they just want to devour the sheep, okay? Basically, this is what this means. But inwardly, they're ravening wolves, meaning what? if a wolf see a sheep, inwardly their mindset is going to be what? To devour the sheep. Okay, so these prophets come in the manner of, basically um, filling their bellies, right? You know, um, so they come, you know, inwardly, thinking about how is I'm going to, how is I'm going to deceive, how is I'm going to benefit, they think about themselves, okay? What is I'm going to, how's I'm going to finesse, okay, the sheep today, right? How's I'm going to finesse, how's it going to devour the sheep today? Now, when you look now, finesse, okay, finesse, it's like
Finesse.
to do something in a subtle and delicate manner, okay? In bridge and with an attempt to win a trick with a card that's is not a certain winner, okay? So a trick, all right? Finesse refers to the skill and cleverness someone showed in the way that deal with a situation problem. Right, Well, I like this one better. Finesse means actively getting what you want by tricking the other side, right? And this is what exactly they do, okay? This is what exactly they're doing, right? This is how they are, because it's all throughout, Jeremiah speaks about it, okay? Those false prophets, that, that, they're not, yeah, how he worded it. They're not, basically they're lusting after their own, belly, okay? They're lusting after their own, they're thinking about themselves, okay? That's the best way I can word it, right? They're thinking about themselves, ultimately, right? They're not really caring about the flocks, right? They're finessing these sheep, right? They're thinking about ways to trick them, okay? This is why many false prophets go. This is why many Israelites, many Jays went to false prophets, right? Because what the false prophets would tell them what they want them to hear. Okay, what want Jake to hear? They won't tell they won't tell Jake the truth, right? Because what they really don't care about. They don't care about Jake. They don't care about their people. Okay, they're misleading the sheep, right? This is why you have righteous prophets and you have true prophets. You have righteous prophets and you have false prophets, right? You have true prophets and you have false prophets, right? The true prophets care about the sheep. Okay, they're gonna tell Jake what they don't want Jake to hear, right? But the false prophet is gonna tell Jake lies. They're gonna deceive Jake, right? So ultimately, right? They're considered what? They're ravening wolves because inwardly they're thinking about ways to trick the sheep, to devour the sheep, right? To serve their own bellies. Okay, that's the word I want to. Another thing, about ways to serve their own bellies, right? What can they gain out of? Because what if Al-Azhar said that the 2/3 were referring to wicked Israelites, You think many of those Jakes that watch this video, his lessons, which is, he's going off. You think that they will continue to watch his lessons? He said that 2/3 were referring to, the nation of Israel being wicked Israelites, being cut off, okay, and die, right? And ultimately 2/3 are gonna, the 2/3, they're gonna be reborn in the kingdom of heaven, okay, through the ones of the elect, ultimately, right? They're not gonna, 2/3 and the whole nation of Israel are gonna be ultimately saved, pursuing by the new covenant, right? The blood, okay, of YAHAWAH, right? Through the blood of YAHAWAH, the whole nation of Israel is gonna be saved, all right? So, but the point is that he teaching that doctrine because he don't want many wicked Jakes. He don't want to hurt any wicked Jakes' feelings, right? Because it's all flesh at the end of the day. They're pleasing man, right? They're pleasing man, right? They're trying to please man's flesh, right? This is why they're, but ultimately they're teaching that doctrine to ultimately stay, popular, right? Because it's all about popularity, right? For Sakari, it's all about popularity, okay? And IUIC. It's all about being popular, okay? It's all about flesh. It's all about pleasing their flesh, okay? They really don't care about salvation. They really don't care about salvation. They really don't care about, the elect, okay? They don't care about the elect. They don't care about salvation. They don't care about doing the work of the Lord, right? They just care about pleasing their flesh, okay? We have to pray that the Lord keep that spirit on us to continue to, continue to care after the sheep, okay? To continue to, do this work in truth and sincere humility, Lord, right? So, ultimately, I'm probably going to close it here. I'll give all glory to YAHAWAHSHI, QADASH, right? Till next time, say shalom.